Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teamwork Design, where we strive to design life from conversation to communication. I am your host, Terry Mera. I know. I know. I want to discuss such a trivial matter that is more significant than you may think. I often experience this during conversations with family and friends, which goes when they are complaining or expressing their frustrations about someone, something, or a situation. Their response is, I know, when I provide suggestions, or the other side of the coin. I know, I do that as well. It's not like we don't know the obvious, right? And when you express your frustration that you are dissatisfied, when someone states the obvious factor that we know, the typical response is, I know. However, I was listening to a podcast and it raised a provoking perspective, which the most dangerous thought and words are, I know. And I had to dive deep into this perspective and reflect on my experiences with my loved ones and my own. The common factor is that I know is so loosely used, yet not many actually put into action that knowing, which means you actually don't know if your actions is not aligned with your statement. To be honest, I resent that perspective initially. However, I realized that there is no lie to this. For example, it seems like my mom has always struggling with her relationship with her mother, my grandmother. Indeed, my grandma is very handful, at least to say. My grandma has the tongue of a very sharp knife, and she accuses and lives with her assumptions, yet never apologize for her errors. I love her despite countless disagreements that I have regards to her character. Don't get me wrong, I do have my share of anger and frustration with my grandmother in the past. With that said, my mom explained recently how my grandmother is accusing in a matter that's such outlandish to her home care lady and nurse, etc. So I told her that whatever my grandma says, there's no relevance to my mom. Hence, my mom should just ignore it, right? And she goes, I know. Yet, my mom is still beyond frustrated with my grandma. So I told my mom, Mom, if you really knew, you wouldn't be as mad or frustrated as you are now. Think of grandma's behavior as you are watching a Korean comedy drama. Then she laughed and she agreed. And she acknowledges and admits that how difficult it is to do so. And I reminded her and myself that anything can be complicated in the beginning. But after much practice, it gets easier. Another example is that as we get older, taking care of our body is becoming more crucial in our daily lives, whether to take stairs, any exercise activities, and so on. A few of my friends have knee problems, and often when I talk about my running journey, they usually express their knee issues. The reason they cannot run and etc., right? So I suggested various options many times, whether taking collagen supplements, knee compressor, or some stretch exercise that help or build your joints and etc., right? And their response has been, I know. But after days, weeks, months, and years passed, they have not implemented my suggestions or take any actions to improve their condition. Do you know I almost couldn't walk due to a fracture on my lumbar? Do you know I run with my corset on to hold my spine in place just in case if I misstep, I have some form of support to protect my back? If you are looking to solve and better yourself, your I know becomes action, not inaction. Another example, some of my friends love to party and drink, often invite me out, which I really appreciate, and they are fun. I usually have a great time. However, since I set my running goals, I have reduced my consumption of alcohol significantly because I love running more than drinking. I can't believe I'm saying this because I used to consume a lot of alcohol. Anyway, due to their consistent drinking and aging at the same time, losing weight from alcohol consumption is not easy, regardless of gender. So I suggest other options and to utilize the time instead of drinking and etc. Other options. And also, I raised many negative issues when you consume alcohol too much or too often. Usually, their response is, I know. I mean, this can be a fun test for you to see how many times you actually say, I know, a day or two, and see how many times your I know is aligned with your actions. This is a trivial thing, however, significant. Since I took up on this journey, the changes, the improvements, creating positive habits started with small things, trivial things, where you get to continue to practice without a harsh self-judgment. As long as you are consistent with it, your life will get better and you gain more awareness that you will be surprised how much your old perspective have been a fogged views. Well, at least that was my experience. And once you get to experience that awareness and what it changes your perspective and the way how you see the world, you want to learn more and you want to know more and you want to be better and better. The positive change really starts with trivial things that we said and do every day, which is significant. I do not have the expectation of any overnight success or wishful thinking anymore. I decide, I act, whether good or bad, succeed or failed, I move on and try it again. This took me years of a practice where you can find peace in your mind while doing so. Now I'm putting effort to say I'm aware of it, I see, I agree, instead of I know. That alone is challenging enough, but I am having fun with it. So if I ever use I know, means my actions and my knowledge are aligned in their particular context. Please take this opportunity to reflect and evaluate your I know moments and give it a try. Thank you for tuning in. This is your host, Terry Mera.